right. Thank you for tuning in and listening to The Real Short Box and watching us too, actually. We are The Real Short Box Live here on YouTube Live. My name is Donald. Right to my right would be our special guest star, Chris Turner. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Just below us is Darren, and over there in the corner is Mr. Kevin, who's hanging out with some X-Men, it looks like, and Darren's about to be spawned, if I can see that correctly.
Look at those spikes. Look at those spikes. Those spikes
Yeah,
are delicious.
yeah. So, why I have everybody up here, we all know the list, like, pretty much. The only person that doesn't know the complete list, I think, is Chris. But Darren knows the complete list. Kevin knows the complete list. Maybe we can talk about a little bit of what we would have wanted to be on this list. And Chris, if you can just mention real briefly the mistake I made with you, I think the audience may get a kick out of that. So let's start with that, Chris, and then we'll go into what didn't make the list, but we really would have wanted it on there.
Yeah, so they told me that they threw in Guardians, and I was like, all right, cool. So I looked up a movie called Guardians, movie from, I believe it's 2017 in Russia, and it's a superhero movie where there's a man who is a half man, half bear, and I was like, okay, well, I guess this is the movie. And so I was like, I searched for like 3 hours trying to find it online, could not find it. Really wanted to see it, watch the trailers. Like, this looks horribly awesome. And it turns out it's Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, sorry.
I'd rather see a talking bear than a talking raccoon. I don't know.
Oh.
Well, right away, I'm going to say I have immense disappointment. We did not put Street Fighter the movie on here with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Actually, that's a lie. To be a little more serious, I would say The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, I think, would have been very worthy of this list. Obviously, we feel like we generate a pretty good list of movies here for competitive purposes, but this is just one that is very different from the Ang Lee Hulk movie, and despite the fact that it's a little more simple and a little more faster paced, it's still really enjoyable. The Abomination was well done with Tim Roth, and I feel like that would have been one I would have preferred to see here.
I can agree there.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think The Phantom was one that I would have liked to have seen on the list. The Phantom and I think Mystery Men are two really favorite superhero films for me. Mystery Men because it's just so damn quirky and fun, and The Phantom because it really is a throwback to that 30s and 40s kind of pulpy superhero type action that you would get, and it really was a fun kind of adventure film. I really did enjoy it very much. So I really would have liked to have seen that, but unfortunately, it just didn't make the cut.
Well, for me, Superman 2 was the one that I wish could have made the cut. That's to me is the best Superman sequel. And, you can't go wrong with Zod. I mean, Terrence Stamp's character is awesome. It's good stuff. It's also Superman, having to question himself, his own wanting to be a superhero, but he wants to be with Lois and peace and not have to have the responsibility of the superpowers and whatnot. Yep. So I thought it was a very, powerful sequel. And also technically it was filmed with the first movie. And that's a whole other story with the whole controversy when they fired Richard Donner. But I do like the Donner cut. If you haven't seen it, you got to check out Superman 2, the Donner cut.
Yeah, we've got a few people popping in already. We've got Maria and Sean popped in. Maria says hello. Hi,
hello.
Maria. Sean says, "What up, y'all?" Maria says, "Did you just say Mystery Men isn't in the Showdown?" ? Exclamation. Yes, Maria. I'm sorry, Mystery Men did not make it into this Showdown, and no Superman 2. Sean, we had to go. We tried not to have too many duplicates if we could avoid it. So Superman and Superman 2 are within the same canon, and we felt like the first Superman. It sends a pretty powerful statement, so we were going to just go ahead and go with that one, and then Superman 2, where would we put it? And we were like, let's just leave Superman 2 off the list for now. There is, in this list, there is a battle of the sequels. There's a 2 versus a 2. We'll tell you that later, but there is one, but it's not Superman. But it is still cool, Sean, so stay tuned. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all.
And if you are Shant, we apologize.
Yeah.
It's Sean, not Shant.
Oh, Sean. Oh, I thought it was Shant in this one. Sean, yes, sorry, Sean. Yes.
Sean Leonard, buddy. Sean Leonard.
Mr. Leonard.
Yes. So we don't want to, like I said, we don't want to give it too much of what we were looking at putting on this list here. But there's a lot of stuff that I was just happening to. If you just go through your Disney Plus, like there's a whole bunch of things that were not put on this list that I think would be, that I thought was quite interesting. I mean, especially, we would love to include an X-Men movie on here, but you cannot include all 12 of them. And we've already done Logan, so as you know from the previous episode. So which one may we or may we not be including this time around?
Right. Hey, Marilyn popped in. Marilyn Sullivan, thank you for joining us, Marilyn.
Hello.
Is your husband in on this one this time as well? Let us know. We'll count his vote as well. Uh-oh, everybody. My mom has just joined the chat. Say hello to my mother.
Hi, Miss McKinney.
Hi, Mom. Good to see you.
Hey,
Dad,
Dan.
I'm sure, is listening as well, maybe, unless he's still on the phone.
X-Men Wolverine Origins better be on the list, sir.
Maria says X2 with an exclamation point. I think that means if she doesn't get X2, she's going to leave. Maria?
Wow.
It was super close.
Messed up.
Like, out of all the X-Men films, there's a lot of good ones. There really are. And it was super close. So you'll have to stay tuned to see if X2 actually made it into the cut.
Have mercy on us, Maria. Have mercy on us.
Jared says, did Street Fighter win? No, Jared, it did not. And it wouldn't win even in the video game showdown that we're going to have eventually. Stay tuned for that.
But, Jared, I appreciate your enthusiasm because maybe you and I are the only people that see the brilliance of this.
Raul Julia. It was his last movie.
Ray says hello, Kevin.
Hey, what's up, Ray?
And Ray says hello to my mom as well. So thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. Very much so. As people start to trickle in, we're going to start getting started. I usually like to wait till we get a certain set amount of people in the chats to where we can start.
Yeah, I'm refining the bracket slightly.
Yeah, and I've posted, guys. So when you get time and you want to repost, please feel free to do so. If you haven't seen it yet, pull it off my Facebook page and share with your friends.
Yep, already on it.
So I'm not going to whatchamacallit. Yeah, guys, we're still keeping the same movies. We're still going to keep the same segments. I just am reordering the bracket a little bit because some of it looks a little too imbalanced.
Okay. Well, you're the master bracketologist, so we.
The bracketeer, I believe, is what he would be called.
I am the bracketeer.
Yeah.
Bracketeer.
Yeah, it's like the Rocketeer, but with brackets. So he goes to fly, and all he has is brackets, and he just weighs him, and he just falls. So it's probably not the best superhero.
Called the Bracketeer.
The Bracketeer.
The comic. IDW.
What a horrible superhero you are! What do? I make brackets.
So, guys, what was when you guys were coming up with the list? What was your what was a superhero to you? Like when you were thinking about superhero movies, what was your criteria of deciding which movies would fit under this category?
I said, "Hey, Sammy," and my phone I thought I said Siri, and it started to talk to me, so that distracted me. What are you asking? What's the qualifications for what we chose for these superhero films?
Well, for it to be a superhero film, for consideration, what were the qualifications?
Popular was a big one. It had to be a popular film, so if it wasn't a very popular film, it wasn't going to make it. The other qualifications was it had to be within the realm of comic books. There had to be an established comic book relatability to it. So like Mystery Men, it would have made it because it was a comic book, but however it wasn't a very popular film, so therefore it got taken out. I mean, even Doctor Strange didn't make this list, guys. Like, that's saying something. We tried to be very diverse and very fair, and we looked back, for example, some films in the 90s that were hugely influential for the coming of superheroes. One of them is behind Darren right now. Spawn was very influential for its time, but it also wasn't, if you look at it now, it's not a very good film overall. So we're like, okay, it was a comic book. It was influential at the time, but it wasn't a very good film. So let's cut that one. So we had to take and kind of look at all these layers. Was it influential? Was it a popular film? Did it do well? Is it based off a comic book? Those are like the big points for us.
Right.
And also to add to that, Chris, obviously, like, we have been alive a certain length of time that we remember when superhero films were no big deal, and then when they became the biggest deal. So to be a superhero, to really stand out, especially in the earlier years, like probably pre-X-Men or even pre-Iron Man for that matter, you really had to be something special.
All right.
That's true.
All right, so I note taken for when I don't see Orgasmo on the list.
Yeah, Orgasmo's not making that list. Sorry. Who's your Yoder says, let the party begin. Sammy says, hello, dudes. Janet says, hey. Pete says, hey, guys.
Oh, Pete.
And
all right.
John says, so I shouldn't be waiting for Supergirl 1984 to show up.
Well, you never know.
No.
I mean, Captain America 2 from 1979. I mean,
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
Batman with Adam West.
Right.
Yeah, the original 1966 movie. There we
go. We could be talking about the Batusi. So now that we have enough people starting to join us in the chats here, let's get started on a round. Now, I just want to throw out one round for the audience, just for them. Now, guys, think of some of the least popular superhero films that there could be. And each, just throw out a couple. We'll pick two, and then you guys can vote on it. We'll just do that really quickly because I'm really curious what you guys think are some of the worst superhero films ever. So go ahead and throw some names out. We'll pick two, and then you can vote on that. And then we'll get to the bracket that we're planning on doing. But I'm just curious, everybody in the chat. Yeah, what do you got?
I want to. Trust me. I badly want to answer this question, but I'm not going to. I'm curious what the audience has to say. But while they're doing that, for maybe some of our newer listeners, just to explain how this process works one more time, we have two brackets of 8 films. We have 4 matchups in each. Excuse me, one bracket, 2 sides to each film. We'll just call it East and West. Okay. So you have 4. You have 8 on one side, 8 on the other. As they all generate, all of a sudden, they will have a final matchup, and whoever ends up being the champion will be going up against Batman 1989, who won the previous week. So now that you know a little more of what we're doing, regulars, thank you for being patient with that. And Donald, have they come up with any good choices?
We've got some good ones here. Pete says Fantastic Four. Jarrett says Catwoman. Pete says Ang Lee's Hulk and Superman 4. And I think that's it so far. Harley says Incredible, but I think she's talking about the Incredible Hulk, I think. And Enrique just popped in, so thanks for joining us, Enrique. So let's go with... oh, geez. What do you think about... well, there's He-Man. He-Man's another one. Ray just threw in. That's a good one. Dolph Lundgren, Punisher.
Oh, yeah. Masters of the Universe.
Incredibles, the cartoon. Oh, Harley, that's not a bad film. We can't.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Can we put Blank Man?
If somebody wants to list it, sure. Okay, so we've got Howard the Duck. How about we do Howard the Duck versus... Because we had a lot of people actually preliminarily ask me about Howard the Duck. So let's do Howard the Duck versus... What do you guys say? Like, He-Man?
Yeah!
Yeah? Sound good? Okay, guys. So everybody in the chats right now, we're going to do Howard the Duck versus He-Man. Let's see which one wins. Honestly, guys, I'm really excited about this one because I do actually enjoy both these films. They're a lot of fun. Chris, you're smiling. You enjoy them too, I can tell. So this is going to be a fun one. Let's do He-Man versus Howard the Duck. This is a fun round, guys.
All right, Chris, since you're our special guest, would you like to break down Howard the Duck?
Yeah, you got a duck. He's an alien from outer space. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, so I'll try my best to remember.
I could do a better job.
Go ahead, Donald.
And he's a duck.
I just know that last time I saw it, I really enjoyed watching it.
Okay. So Howard the Duck is an alien from another planet, and he gets pulled to Earth by some space ray at a space station that they're doing on Earth. And it pulls him to Earth, but it also pulls another evil entity from another planet to Earth. And that entity takes over this doctor, this professor that ran the ray, that was one of the guys that ran the ray. So you have Howard trying to get back to his planet, and he runs into Taya Leone, and she's all like rocker, sexy and stuff, and he's like,
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson, thank you. And he's trying to sex up on her, but he's a little tiny duck, and Tim Robbins joins in to help Howard the Duck get back home and fight off these evil aliens and send them back before they land on Earth and destroy the planet. So it's a silly plot, but a lot of fun. Really cute film. Anybody want to take He-Man?
Yeah, Masters of the Universe takes place, of course, on another planet, and the cosmic key has been lost on planet Earth. Of course, Courtney Cox and her rocker boyfriend think it is a synthesizer, when in fact it ends up becoming a motion tracker to bring Skeletor and all of his lovely army to come down, including some of the great villains of He-Man, like Karg. Yeah, not a great villain. This is made by the Go-Go Boys, Golan and Globus, and it's fun, but it's like kind of terrible too in so many ways. I think it is. So Cannon Group has been on the verge of bankruptcy so many times until they finally went under, and this was one of those movies that just lost a mint, for lack of a better term. Yeah, I dig it. I think it's fun, and a young Courtney Cox is always like kind of fun to see.
Yeah, so let's get to the voting, guys. If you haven't voted in the chats yet, we're doing He-Man versus Howard the Duck just for fun, just to start it out. These guys didn't make the list, but we want to see what your thoughts are. Darren, why don't you take He-Man, and Chris, why don't you take Howard the Duck? Okay.
Sure.
So we have Who's Your Yoder says, I love Howard the Duck. Maria says Howard the Duck. Pete says He-Man. Janet says He-Man. Anthony says Howard the Duck. Jarrett says He-Man. Enrique says Howard the Duck. Let's see. Austin Fox says He-Man. Ray says Howard the Duck knows Kung Fu, so we'll go with that.
Katie says He-Man as well.
Okay, my mom says Howard the Duck. Haven't seen either. Sammy says she hasn't seen either.
Sammy, that's quite a reveal there.
Okay, what do we have as far as vote numbers, guys?
I got 5 for He-Man.
Got 6 for Howard.
Oh, snap. Sean, it's about as close as it's going to get, buddy, so you might want to vote. It's He-Man versus Howard. If you vote Howard, it'll do He-Man in.
Yeah, let the Supreme Court figure this one out.
Oh, Sean, you cheeky bastard. He's picking He-Man.
Oh, my God. You're really going to Supreme Court, like, literally the NIT tournament pick here?
Hey, why not?
Oh, my God. Enrique says he saw Skeletor's hover ship in Old Town Whittier when he was a kid, and they have it covered up during the daytime when they weren't filming. That's so cool, dude. Man. All right, so it looks like it's going to the Supreme Court. Gentlemen, this is He-Man versus Howard the Duck. Chris, I don't know about you, but I'm really in trouble here. I love both these films. Jeez. Okay, so what do you guys say?
I go with, because I do like both films too, and I have a thing for the Duck, but I got to give it to the Masters of the Universe. Give it to the He-Man, the Man of Eternia.
In the race to the bottom, I'm totally going with Masters of the Universe.
I'm going with the Duck. Gotta go with the Duck.
Jeez. I was going to say the same thing, Chris, so we're terrible at this.
This is so inconsequential.
Oh, wait.
Is Barrett there?
But wait, my dad says Howard the Duck.
Okay.
So that does it in. That's it. Howard the Duck wins.
It has come to the court.
So
Anyway.
So your dad is the 5th Supreme Court Justice.
That's fine. We'll just do it that way because we're just doing this round for fun anyway. So Howard the Duck beats He-Man. And doesn't move on to anything because it barely beat He-Man. He-Man, guys. He-Man.
That's 11 votes. That's our practice round. We're
Yes.
going to get more votes here.
Now we've got enough people in the chats. We're ready to rock and roll. Okay. All right. Let me pull up a few things here. Give me a moment.
All right. So the order in which these will be coming out was just switched. I noticed a few inconsistencies here to make sure that we have the most entertaining and even bracket possible. As we'll go, we'll have a matchup. We'll have one of us describe the matchup of each thing, and you just vote. It's that simple. Donald, are you ready to go, sir?
I'm ready. Ready to rock and roll.
All right, Donald, because you're up first.
Oh, snap.
We've got Superman 1978 against Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I've got that Superman picture up, and let me get the Thor one. This is a tough one. Okay. So really quickly, oh my god, this Thor picture's huge. Okay. I did not have time to resize these guys. I am sorry. I actually forgot. So I'll be resizing on the fly, which is fine. We've got Superman here versus Thor Ragnarok. Now, Superman, it's the original. It's the 1978-79 Christopher Reeves iconic Superman. As you can tell, I am a fan of Superman. I think most people are fans of Superman. Superman is basically, essentially, the first superhero ever created. And they really did it justice in this film. They cultivated the essence of who Superman really is, who Clark Kent really is, who Lois Lane really is, who Lex Luthor really is. All these characters, Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, and kind of give you a glimpse of what it could be like to have this live action, comic book, and it was a wonderful thing. Still revolutionary for its time, and if you watch it now, it still holds up. It still looks really solid, really good, and it's a fun film. Thor Ragnarok is the best of the Thors. If you argue that, you don't know what you're talking about, plain and simple. It is the most fun. It is. It's got an over-the-top, ridiculous plot. Thor, basically loses his powers. He loses Mjolnir. He can't fight as well. There's an eye issue, an ocular problem that happens. Of course, all kinds of things that happen in Thor Ragnarok. It's a lot of fun. We get the Hulk in there. We've got Loki. We've got pretty much everybody thrown into it. It's the Jeff Goldblum, for God's sakes. It's just a very fun Thor film, and it actually again showed us, if you took the essence of the Thor comic and put it into a film, how it can be a fun adventure film, which is what we've been wanting all along. So it is the best of the three. Superman is arguably the best of all of them. I know a lot of people like Superman 2, and that's I can't argue against it. But I felt like putting Superman the original up against Thor Ragnarok was a good choice. So you guys go ahead and vote. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, bring those votes in fast and furious, folks. Chris, do you have any thoughts on Superman 78? I mean, do you remember the last time you've seen it?
Probably about college, but 15 years ago or so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. But I do love the movie. I'm one of those people who tend not to rewatch movies too many times. I remember it was on TV, and I was just like, well, I got to stop everything I'm doing to watch this movie now.
Hey, Frank. Thanks for joining.
Because it's Superman. It's like, it really is the quintessential superhero. It's probably the first superhero movie I ever saw. But yeah, it's been a while. I mean, I should probably go back and rewatch them all.
Yeah. Hopefully those votes are coming in pretty hard right now. Kevin, did Thor Ragnarok kind of take you aback when you first saw it? Did it really surprise you?
Yeah, actually it did, because the tone had changed from the previous two movies, and the fact that they took a story from the comic books, I believe it was World War Hulk. It was really cool. and also what's her name? Good Lord, the character with the horse, Valkyrie. Valkyrie. I liked her character. She was awesome.
Yeah, the woman with the horse. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, of course, we can't forget Jeff Goldblum. Oh my
Okay.
goodness, Jeff Goldblum killed it.
Let's start counting the votes out here. Janice says, "Hey, Kevin."
Hello.
And wow, Frank changed his vote. Okay, Frank, I'll remember that. I mean, not I'll remember that. I mean, I'll remember it. Like I'll put it in my memory. So I'm reading out these votes. Sean says, "I genuinely think He-Man is more fun." Yeah, it's a fun movie, Sean, for sure. So Marilyn and Mike vote for Thor. So we got 2 for Thor. Kevin, take Thor. And Darren, will you take Superman, please?
Yeah.
Stephanie votes Thor.
All right.
Katie says Superman. Harley says Superman. My mom votes for Thor. My dad votes for Thor. Frank Huff votes for Thor. Sammy votes for Thor. Pete votes for Thor. Maria votes for Thor. I thought this was going to go better than this, but wow. Superman for Janet. Okay, so Enrique says it's a tough one. Superman is a classic, but Thor was too fun. He's voting for Thor. Austin says Thor. Sean says I vote for Spider-Man 2 because I'm still sore about it losing to Batman 1989. Ray says Thor. Ray says his wife says Thor as well, and Janice says Thor. I think we're pulling in a landslide here. What's the vote count?
About 12 votes for Thor.
I have 3.
Yeah, we're going to call that. Thor moves on. Superman, the original, has been eliminated very easily.
Wow. Poor Christopher Reeve. Man.
Very easily. Wow. Yeah. So Thor takes round 1. Round 2, everybody.
Yeah, matchup number 2 here in the first round. Kevin, you're on it. We have got this moment for me to say, hear me and rejoice. We have the Avengers Infinity War against X2 X-Men United.
All right. This is a nice matchup here. First, you have X2 United. That is considerably and arguably the best X-Men film. You know, to me, it's certainly up there with X-Men First Class and Days of Futures Past. Has a great story, a great villain played by the original Hannibal Lecter, Brian Cox. You have Lady Deathstrike. You have, the touching death scene of Jean Grey. Well, what we thought was a touching death scene with Jean Grey, and of course, her later becoming the Phoenix in the next movie. And also, how can we forget the beginning of the movie, Nightcrawler, with Alan Cummings was an awesome scene. So great story overall. Really getting down to what the X-Men are all about mutants and about people being afraid of them. A great analogy to what goes on with the prejudice that we go through in today's world.
Arguably the best opening in any superhero film is in X-Men 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Avengers Infinity War, what can you say? Thanos, great villain. They built up to it for many, many years. And you see the culmination of all the stories from the first 3 phases coming together in this movie. And, we see the Infinity Gauntlet finally get put together with the 6 stones. We saw shocking deaths. And it was a great movie. Probably the best Avengers movie, in my humble opinion, because it doesn't end well for the heroes. And you have a very powerful villain who you kind of understand his point of view, although it's evil and twisted, but you kind of understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. It's also, X2 is also the first time we saw Wolverine go berserker. But also, in Infinity War is the first time we saw the Hulk be extremely vulnerable. Like, extremely vulnerable. You've never seen anybody manhandle the Hulk like you did in this film.
That's true.
It set the stage for, oh my god, if the Hulk is bitch slapped around like a nothing, then how does anybody stand a chance against Thanos?
And he beat up the Hulk with just 1 gem.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're going down the clock here. Everybody, the shot clock is on 58 seconds. Cast your votes now in the chat. YouTube Live, of course, in the chat. cast your votes and let us know who you want to win. Now, of course, whoever wins the ultimate final in this round will immediately go up against last week's winner, which was Batman 1989. So keep that in mind.
Versus champion.
But for purposes of our current, the winner of this matchup will go up against Thor Ragnarok in the next round.
Ooh.
Oh, so there you go. That's another thing to think about. Okay, so what do we got? Okay, so Katie says X-Men 2. Chris, why don't you do X-Men 2? And Kevin, why don't you do Avengers?
Okay.
Austin says X-Men 2. Frank says X-Men 2. Maria says X-Men 2. Stephanie says Avengers. Ray says Avengers. Pete says Avengers. This was not an easy choice. X2 is fantastic. Sammy says Avengers because I will never forgive what was done to Jean. And yes, I realize that was mainly X3, but still, yes, Sammy, it was a totally different movie.
Brett Ratner.
Marilyn says Avengers. Mike is thinking. Sean, Godzilla kind of almost does qualify as a superhero. That's a tough one.
It is in the kaiju genre for what that's worth.
I would say more like monster movie films. We could do that sometime. Let's see. Mom says Avengers. Dad says Avengers. Janet says Avengers. Sean says X2. Mike says X2. Air Samurai says X2. Andrew Baz says X2. Thanks for joining us, Andrew. Enrique says X2. We have a change of heart. Air Samurai changes his mind from X2 to Avengers. So, Chris, subtract one X2 and Kevin add an Avengers. Where are we at in the numbers, guys?
I have 9 for Infinity War so far.
7 for X2.
Okay, so if X2 is to survive, we need 2 more votes for X2. Otherwise, Avengers Infinity War is going to win and move on against Thor Ragnarok. Which would be either one would be an interesting pairing.
Turned out to be a heavyweight first matchup there.
Yeah. Maybe the Supreme Court will step in.
Okay, Janice says X2.
Uh-oh.
X2 needs 1 more vote to survive, at least tying Infinity War. So if anybody wants to throw in. Trenton says X2. Harley says Avengers. So we're still down. Jarrett says X2. We're officially tied, correct?
I have 10 so far for Avengers.
And 10 for X2. Okay, so we're completely tied.
Uh-oh.
One way or the other could sway it. So we're going to put 30 seconds on the shot clock here. Give me 1 moment.
Yeah, if anyone pops in, then they can save it from us. Uh-oh. Is Evan just coming in right now? Do I see that in the chat section?
Kevin, we want to encourage the Supreme Court.
Hey, Evan. Thanks for joining us. We're doing Avengers Infinity War versus X-Men 2 right now if you want to cast a vote. Yes, you got it. Evan, you've got it. So if you want to cast a vote, feel free to do so. Your vote may be the winning vote because we're tied right now, 10-10. Oh, Evan says Avengers.
Ooh.
That might have done it in. So we're going to go 30 seconds more. We've got 35 seconds in total left. If there's not another vote for X2, Avengers is going to win and move on. So 27 seconds left on the shot clock for this one. Avengers wins by 1 so far, is winning by 1. X2 needs 1 vote to tie. And you know Kevin's just chomping at the bit to be the Supreme Court. Yes, I counted Jarrett's vote, Sean. Or if you'd like, Sean, I'll start calling you Shant as well. It seemed like you liked that, so we might change.
Yeah, I misunderstood. I thought that was Shant.
Oh, the disrespect.
We've got another for X2.
We do?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It looks like
Here we go.
Okay, I'm trusting people in the chats who are saying that certain people are there and voting. If it gets to be too rampant, we'll cut that out and we'll just go with the individual. But right now, I'm going to count people that say that.
Time to put on the robe. Time to put on the robe of justice.
All right, this is officially a Supreme Court pick, yes?
Yes, we're at the Supreme Court choice. No more votes will be counted.
I'm putting it on right now. Put it on the...
Kevin's got the Supreme Court robe on. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay,
Only thing I'm
gentlemen,
is the wig.
Dustin Gavel.
we have the Avengers Infinity War that we were deciding on versus X-Men 2. Now, both are great films. Again, Kevin is correct. Avengers Infinity War is the best of the Avengers films. Arguably the most fun Marvel film in general. It's very fun. It's a very fun film. X-Men 2, X-Men United X2 is a lot of fun as well. Introduces us to Colossus and a bunch of other characters that are really cool. And yes, Sean, the robe does look like something Old Man Logan would wear.
All right. So, for purposes of this competition, nothing would please me more than to eliminate a heavyweight like Avengers Infinity War. However, I will not do that. I think Infinity War is a superior movie on so many levels. Such an impressive thing that they did to make this movie as good as it was. As much as I love X2, my vote's going to go towards Avengers Infinity War.
Avengers Infinity War for Darren. Okay, so that's one. Kevin.
This is a tough one. You know, the Russo brothers did a great job able to incorporate so many characters into one movie. And then, of course, we have X2. Great job there. Good Lord, director escapes my name right now. Forgive me. Bryan Singer. And, wow. I am going to go. I'd rather flip a coin on this, but I'm going to go with Infinity War.
Okay, so that's two. Chris, your vote.
All right, so my decision is based on what I feel is a more complete movie. I feel X-Men has an incredible opening scene for a movie. Probably one of the best opening scene, not of just a superhero movie, but of any movie that I've ever seen. However, I think Infinity War is a better overall movie because I feel like some parts of X-Men 2, for me personally, had some problems. And so Infinity War, I feel is more of a complete movie. That's my choice. That's my decision.
Well, regardless, then that would leave me standing alone with my X-Men 2 vote. So it looks like Infinity War has moved on and defeated X-Men 2. I tried. That's the first time the Supreme Court has actually done anything.
Oh, value.
I literally had to flip a coin on this one.
Yeah.
This was tough.
So Avengers Infinity War wins. X-Men 2 is eliminated due to the Supreme Court.
Right.
And we're moving on. Next round.
All right, here we go. Next matchup here in the first round on our left bracket here. Chris, it is your turn, sir. We are going with animated superhero movies. We, of course, will be talking about The Incredibles versus Big Hero 6.
All right, so we got Disney versus Pixar here. We got Big Hero 6. It's kind of like a, I guess, futuristic world where San Francisco and Tokyo are combined together, and you have this guy who's working in a lab and creating this little robot, and then there's an explosion, and basically his little brother opens up or turns on this robot called Baymax. It was like this inflatable. Think about like those inflatable Christmas things that you have on the front lawn. It's like looks like those, and then but it's a robot. It has all these cool gadgets and stuff, and then he kind of creates this superhero team. You got Go-Go, Tamago, Neat Nick Wasabi, Honey Lemon, and Fred. And basically it becomes like a murder, or not a murder. It's like a mystery movie, like trying to unsolve this mystery, and it's a lot of fun. And they become this team of high tech heroes, and it's a lot of fun. And it's they set it up. They kind of ended us so that maybe more coming. Hopefully there is. And then we have The Incredibles. The Incredibles is a family of superheroes. Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and their kids, Violet, Dash, and Jack. And basically, they're trying to adopt civilian identities because there's some mishaps, and then there's a supervillain who comes in, played by Jason Lee, and basically they try to come out of retirement as a family, and they work together as a family to try to stop this supervillain from destroying the world. And it's a lot of fun, and I like seeing the superheroes try to be normal and try to live that normal life, and what happens when you can't. So yeah, those are the two movies.
Well, that's Chris's sales pitch for you there, folks.
Okay, we'll go to the votes here in a second.
And I will say that The Incredibles has Wallace Shawn, so just take that for what it is.
Who directed The Incredibles?
Was it Brad Bird?
Brad Bird.
Okay.
Brad Bird, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he also did The Iron Giant, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, just was thinking about it. Pete says that X2 got snapped. Sean says,
clearly.
I appreciate the Avengers versus X-Men reference. Clever matchup, boys. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Notice.
Hear me and rejoice.
Okay, so we got some votes coming in. Guys, we're going to put a minute on the shot clock. Start casting your votes now in the chat section. All right. So, Sean says The Incredibles. Chris, you go ahead and take care of the Incredibles. And Kevin will have you take care of Big Hero 6. Let's see. Sammy says Incredibles. Katie says Big Hero 6. Frank says The Incredibles. Jarrett says The Incredibles. Who's Your Yoder says Big Hero 6. Pete says Incredibles. Ray says Incredibles. Austin says Incredibles. My mom says Incredibles. Let's see. Enrique says Incredibles. Maria says Incredibles is super fun, but Big Hero 6 has more heart, so I'd go with Big Hero 6. Janet says Incredibles. My dad says Incredibles. Katie says I love them both so much. It's like Sophie's Choice. That's pretty much what we're trying to do here, Katie. Sean says Brad Bird is the man. You are right, Sean. Marilyn says The Incredibles. Love how their superpower blends with their personality. Mike says Incredibles as well. Incredibles for Andrew. Janice says Incredibles. Evan says Big Hero 6. Andrew says The Incredibles because my friend Tony from Encino worked on it. Awesome, dude. Where are we at? I think Incredibles is running away with it, right?
Yeah. There's only 4 votes. Yeah, only 4 votes for Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
a blowout.
So it's over. Incredibles wins. Big Hero 6 is done. Sorry, guys, that like Big Hero 6. I liked it, too.
And for what it's worth, my mother threw in her vote for Big Hero 6. All right. So, left bracket, last first round matchup. We are going with 2 comic book films that are sequels directed by Guillermo del Toro. Of course, we're talking about Hellboy 2, The Golden Army versus Blade 2. And I will take them both. All right. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Ron Perlman stars as the Horned Hero in a sequel that we here at The Real Shortbox believe in many ways trumped the original. From a storyline that involves magic, sorcery, to a crowd scene in the troll market, to an epic showdown with an army of immortal golden mechanical soldiers that endlessly respawn, Hellboy 2, I think, is a sterling piece of imagination. The troll market, for instance, may be the most elaborate fantasy world building since Mos Eisley in the original Star Wars. Top-notch Del Toro here, folks. Also, much credit to him for giving you a reason to be mortified of tooth fairies. All right, we are going to skip over to Blade 2. So this also, in many ways, trumped the original. The Daywalker here takes on a new batch of bloodsuckers, the genetically altered Reapers. Shot on location in Prague before every friggin' production moved to Prague to shoot. Blade 2, like the original, was a big hit no one saw coming. The martial arts and fight scenes are improved upon, even from a very strong original that had great fight scenes and martial arts. But the sequel here, what it does better than the original is it blends those action scenes with great horror film aspects, such as your jump scares, creepiness, and gore. Blade 2 is definitely, in our view, an upgrade from a very strong original installment. Ladies and gentlemen, let the Battle of Del Toro sequels begin.
All right. Sorry that took me so long. The image that I was trying to use was too huge. I didn't have time to resize, so I'm sorry, guys. We've got Hellboy 2 versus Blade 2, guys. Guillermo del Toro versus Guillermo del Toro. Ah, no, I'm late. Hey, Chris, you are late, but that's okay. Chris Duque has popped in, everybody.
All right, you got the link. What's up, Chris?
Chris, Hellboy 2 versus Blade 2.
Okay, some people have not seen either, which is interesting.
Starting to show our age here a little bit.
Okay, so, all right, we're going to put a minute on the shot clock here for all those that are interested in voting for either Hellboy 2 or Blade 2, and we're going to count down from there. A lot of really great things. The special effects alone on the vampires in Blade 2 were incredible. The creatures that they created were fantastic. The what is it, Troll Market, I think is what it was, yes, or something like that. The puppetry that they did with that was indicative of what we knew from Guillermo in his style. It brought back his golden age of directing in production, and that's what we loved about that film. So both of these are very innovative for different reasons, but very innovative nonetheless. So either way is a win as far as I'm concerned. They're both fantastic films. Hellboy 2 versus Blade 2.
And one of the similarities that I find interesting is the two main villains are also children of tyrannical leaders, which I think is kind of funny. They're kind of like the same villain in many ways, but also like completely creepy and scary in totally different ways.
Okay, so Darren, let's have you take Hellboy 2.
Yep.
Kevin, let's have you take Blade 2. Okay. Mom says Heckboy, so that's Hellboy. Sammy says Hellboy. Katie says Blade 2. Dad says Hellboy 2. Jared says Hellboy. Let's see. That film, Sean, Unbreakable, will not be in this, unfortunately. Ray says Hellboy. Austin Fox says Hellboy. Harley says Hellboy. Frank says Hellboy. Pete says Hellboy. Maria says, I vote for the film forever known as Heckboy. Yeah, this is the Battle of Ron Perlman flicks for sure, Andrew. Hellboy for Janet. Blade 2 for Chris. Hellboy for Andrew. Blade 2 for Enrique. Sean still says Spider-Man 2. Sean, that's not going to happen, buddy. That's over.
But Sean, you would be correct.
Let's see. Andrew says, see you in hell, boy. Evan says Hellboy by a hair. Janice says Hellboy. Where are we at, guys, with these numbers?
I only have 3 for Blade 2, so it's not looking
19.
good.
You have what?
19 for Hellboy 2.
Oh my god. Okay, never mind. That's a lot. Jesus.
I know, I'm surprised too.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to call it then. Hellboy 2 beat the snot out of Blade 2.
By a knockout.
Yeah. So Hellboy 2 is moving on. Next round.
All right, we are going still in the first round. We're going to the right side of the bracket here. Donald, we'll ask you to take this one. We, of course, are talking about Wonder Woman against Captain Marvel in a battle of heroines.
Okay, let me bring up the images here. Okay, I'm going to give you some non-biased opinions, all right? Now, we have Wonder Woman here, which was a great introduction to the story of Wonder Woman and who she is and why she fights and stuff. Basically talks about her during World War II and how Chris Pine crashes on her island and they find him and they're like, a man! And they get all crazy about it. And then she goes back with him as an emissary of the island of Themyscira to help assist in the battle to defeat the Nazis, who also happen to have some type of black magic stuff, which happens to actually be what's his name? What was his name, Kevin? The main villain.
Oh, good lord! It's been a
Was
while.
that Wolfenstein or what the hell?
No. That's from Justice League. It's like
No,
it's
Wolfenstein is a game.
You think of Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. So it wasn't Steppenwolf.
That's Justice League.
Secondary.
Who the shit was it? Who was that villain?
Give me a second. It's like a Greek god. It'll give me a second.
Ares.
Oh, Mars.
Was it Ares?
Ares.
Yes. There we go.
Ares. Okay, so Ares. So that's Wonder Woman basically. It's Wonder Woman versus Ares. It had a great first act, second act. The third act kind of took a little bit of a CGI dump on us, but otherwise a great film. And we got to see Gal Gadot play a fantastic Diana Prince. Then we have Captain Marvel, which is a film about a character that was originally Marvel, Captain Marvel, but they decided to go with the Carol Danvers version of Captain Marvel. This one played with the story a little bit, a lot of it. It's got its moments. It's got some humor to it. It's got a cat that is an alien cat that scratches Nick Fury's eye. That's how he loses his eye, apparently. It has Skrulls in there as friendlies, not enemies. So that's a twist from what we've normally seen in the comic books. Normally the Skrulls are villains, most of them. However, Ilana, I believe, or Liliana, was a hero of the Skrull universe, and she was dating Johnny Storm at one point in time in the Fantastic Four. So that's the best I could do on being kind. So we're doing Captain Marvel versus Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we here at the Real Short Box have had previous opinions of these films on other podcasts, if you'd like to tune into them, and we in no way believe in piling on. It's such a lie. Kevin, give us your thoughts, please, on Captain Marvel.
Well, I wish they would have went with the original female Captain Marvel, which was Monica Rambeau, but that's a story for a different day. The movie, to me, it's a mediocre film. It luckily made $1 billion only because it was the lead up to Avengers Endgame. So it had that going for it. But, it's just a blah movie to me. Nothing personal. It just didn't really touch my heart as much as I thought it would have.
Right.
And I don't feel like we're slanting the vote at this point if you're looking in the chats.
Right.
No. Not at all. From what I'm seeing here, it looks like a complete, shall we say, wipeout.
So, Chris, let's have you do Wonder Woman. Kevin, let's have you do Captain Marvel.
Are you serious? I don't think there's much for me to vote on.
I'm giving you some time off, Kevin. All right, so Sean says Wonder Woman. Maria says Wonder Woman. Katie says Wonder Woman. Jarrett says Wonder Woman by a mile. Stephanie says hands down Wonder Woman. Enrique says Wonder Woman. Sammy says Wonder Woman. Screw Brie Larson. Austin says Wonder Woman. Mom says Wonder Woman. Dad says Wonder Woman. Marilyn is for Wonder Woman. No, what? Votes for Wonder Woman. Captain Marvel for Ray Ray. David Denenberg is going with Captain Marvel. Let's see.
There's always a contrarian out there. That's cool.
Harley says Wonder Woman. At least Captain Marvel shot scene. Yes, and Sean says, hey, at least Captain Marvel shot a scene right down the street from you, Donald. That is true. They remade this whole area that I live near. A Blockbuster and a Radio Shack and all that. So it was really cool to see that. I had no idea what it was being used for when I would walk past and just take pictures. I was taking pictures of this set, and I thought it was cool. Janet says Wonder Woman. Frank says, as a whole movie, I go Wonder Woman. Even with the bad CGI Ares, the No Man's Land scene kicks ass. Chris Duque says Wonder Woman all day. Andrew Asher says Wonder Woman, but it was close. Marilyn Sullivan says Mike says Wonder Woman. Andrew Baz says Wonder Woman. And Chris Duque says Monica Rambeau is going to be in the sequel, I think. Chris, I think you're correct, 100%.
That's true.
So where are we at Wonder Woman versus Captain Marvel, guys? I'd love to hear this.
I only have one vote for Captain Marvel.
You should have more than one vote, sir.
You should have two.
Yep.
I'm sorry, two.
I have 16 for Wonder Woman.
Add 3 from my family, Chris. That's 19.
19 for Wonder Woman.
Wow. Okay, so we're not even going to worry about Brie Larson and Captain Marvel because she's gone. Wonder Woman takes it by a mile. Good job, Diana Prince. You win and live to fight another day.
Massacre of this entire tournament.
Yep.
Kevin, try not to smile too much.
I'm not. I'm just,
You're not going to rub it in. Okay.
Right.
No.
Okay, next match.
All right, okay. Next round of the first round, who will be going on to face Wonder Woman in the second round, we're going to go into the 90s, and we are going to go with some independent comic books that turned into very popular films. Of course, we will be talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990, versus The Crow. All right, I'm going to take this one. So The Crow film stars the son of Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, who plays a gothic indie rocker. The movie is based off of the James O'Barr comic book, originally published by Caliber Comics and currently published by IDW. On Devil's Night, which is the night before Halloween in a Detroit hellscape, Eric Draven and his wife Shelley are brutalized and murdered by a gang after various, quote, housing complaints with their landlord. A crow will then resurrect Draven in order to seek revenge on those who wronged him and putting his soul at rest. A very memorable directing debut for Australian Alex Proyas. This highly stylized film also has an incredible soundtrack featuring Nine Inch Nails, the Jesus and Mary Chain, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, and the Stone Temple Pilots. With an iconic performance from Brandon Lee, which sadly was his last, The Crow was a cultural mainstay of the 90s and debatably may be the greatest indie comic movie ever made, also spawning 3 sequels, and also the film I have seen with my father more than any other film with my father. All right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990. Okay, this was originally dreamed up by independent comic icons Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This 1990 film was made with virtually no CGI graphics, but instead relied upon fully costume heroes in a half shell, and was truly a feat for its time. The movie has most of the essential and iconic characters from the comics, including Mentor Splinter, April O'Neil, Casey Jones, the Foot Clan, and the Shredder. This movie was mainly greenlit due to the highly successful Saturday morning cartoon, and also spawned 2 sequels, 1 animated movie, and a remake that also had a sequel. Let's battle it out, baby.
Okay, we've got The Crow versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't see this going the Crow's way, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Turtles are too iconic and the Crow will get buried, but I could be surprised. It's happened before. So let's get to the shot clock here. We're going to put 1 minute on it. Everybody in the chat, you've got a 1 minute timeline to vote for your favorite film, The Crow or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
If I'm reading this correctly, Sammy's dad worked on Ninja Turtles 2.
Really? The Secret of the Ooze.
Either that or The Crow 2.
Go with Vanilla Ice.
I'm glad I didn't have to do that comparison because I definitely have a bias to one of the movies. I'm not going to say which one.
Me too.
Let me guess. Let me guess. The third one.
Yes, Kevin. Yes.
Okay, just a peek in the chats here. I'm seeing a relatively even matchup so far.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
And I also just got 3 votes in from my oldest brother and parents. Thank you.
What do we got for them? What's their votes? Darren, you take care of The Crow. Kevin, you take care of the Turtles.
All 3 of their votes are actually going for The Crow.
Wow. All right. Frank says The Crow. Ray says Turtles. Pete says, why? Sean, you're right. 2 movies that couldn't be more different, but 2 movies that really define the 90s very well. So that's why we chose them, because of the period that they encapsulated. So I felt it was a good matchup for that.
And putting indie comics on the map.
Katie says Turtles. Sammy says Turtles. Enrique says Turtles. Sean says if you ask 10-year-old me and 14-year-old me, they would fist fight over this. Stephanie's okay. Mom says turtles. Harley says turtles. Chris says heroes in a half shell. Dad says turtles. Were you seen? Says David Denenberg. He's voting turtles. Stephanie says turtles all the way. Sammy says turtles. Austin says turtles. Andrew says turtles. Pete says he loves TMNT, but he thinks the Crow has a better story. He's going with the Crow. Sammy says Maria says gotta go TMNT. Has more nostalgia power, but just want to say I love the Crow. Janet says the Crow.
I just got a vote from Nick. He said I vote the Crow just so Donald can suck it and be wrong about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles winning.
Wow, that's pretty vindictive.
Thanks,
wow.
buddy. Mike says the Crow. We live near Detroit. Evan says he's never seen the Crow. Evan, are you voting then or no? Both comics were awesome in the 80s, but both movies in the 90s were puke, says Andrew. Air Samurai says the Turtles, and Evan now says the Turtles as well. So where are we in this count?
I've got 8 for the Crow.
16 for turtles.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yep.
well, JJ. Guess you can suck it. Hey, Purpose with Chai. Hey, thanks for joining us. She says turtles.
Natasha, what's up?
Purpose and Chai says turtles. So that's 19 for the turtles now, or 20?
7. Oh,
Seven.
17?
18.
Okay. All right, so it looks like the Turtles are definitely going to win this. I don't see anybody else voting anytime soon for that. So the Crow is eliminated. Turtles is moving on. So sorry, Nick. So sorry. I feel so bad about being so right. And next vote round, Darren.
All right, here we go. We're still in the first round here. We are going to move to Chris Turner. He is going to give us the Guardians of the Galaxy against Men in Black. The theme here, of course, would probably be superhero comedy.
Yep.
Also go over aliens too.
Yeah.
Both involve aliens. So, all right. So we got Guardians of the Galaxy versus Men in Black. We got James Gunn, director of such cinematic classics as Scooby-Doo 1 and 2. And Slither, and Barry Sonnenfeld, director of such classics as Men in Black, Addams Family, Get Shorty, the Tick TV show. So they both pulling their weight when it comes to like comedy, action comedy movies. We got Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, Marvel film has a buff Chris Pratt, talking raccoon, about a group of misfits that kind of come together in space, taking on Ronan the Accuser. Really cool. There's a really cool jail cell or jailbreak scene in it, and lots of aliens, lots of really cool aesthetic of different worlds and universes and galaxies, and very interesting look to the movie, and lots of comedy. Like I said, it is definitely a superhero comedy. And then we have Men in Black. Goes back to Earth. We still have a really cool aesthetic when it comes to the aliens. Of course, you got Will Smith, and you got Tommy Lee Jones, and there's the two leads, and Tommy Lee Jones plays the agent in K for the Men in Black, and he recruits Will Smith to be his partner, and you go into this Men in Black office, and you have all these crazy looking aliens all over the place, a really cool aesthetic, and it's basically about these two agents,
and they're from an agency. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
It's
these two agents that are basically looking at. There's a flying saucer that crashes on Earth, and it's the aliens, part of like this bug alien race, played by the aliens played by Vincent D'Onofrio.
Best character actor ever.
Yes, I agree.
He's quick.
And basically, it's about these two guys who are basically searching for him and trying to stop him from steal power, this energy source, and escape Earth. So
Okay.
And also, if we could throw in real quick, Men in Black, the makeup effects were done by the legendary Rick Baker, who became very popular during the werewolf transformation in An American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yes.
All
that's
right. Darren, we're going to have you take Men in Black. Kevin, we're going to have you take Guardians, okay?
All right, my family has given me 3 for Men in Black, just to be fully transparent.
Okay. So we're redoing the shot clock. We got 1 minute left. People cast your votes now. We're going to start reading them off as we go along. Harley says Men in Black. Stephanie says Guardians. Pete says Guardians. Maria says Guardians. Katie says Men in Black. Dad says Men in Black. Ray says Guardians. Enrique says Guardians. Austin says Men in Black. Janet says Guardians. David says he's stuck on a feeling. You're hooked on a feeling, I believe is what you mean. So he says Guardians. Stephanie says Guardians. Chris says Men in Black. Jarrett says Guardians. Janice says Men in Black. Purpose says Guardians. Air Samurai says Guardians. Marilyn says Guardians for Marilyn. Andrew says Guardians. Mike says Men in Black. Brady says Guardians. So Sammy says Sammy says Guardians. Rob says Guardians. Hey Rob, thanks for joining us. Chicago Rob, everybody.
Yes, Rob's here, all right.
And Andrew says Men in Black. Evan says Guardians. And where are we right now? It seems like Guardians has kind of got an edge here.
Yeah, I have 17 votes for Guardians.
I have 11 for Men in Black.
Surprisingly more than I expected for Men in Black, to be honest. So I feel like that's not bad. That's not bad.
Based on an independent comic book.
That's correct. Malibu.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we do. By the way, we do. Kevin and I did a fantastic interview of the creators of Malibu Comics, and we talked about Men in Black and a few other things. It's a 2-parter on the YouTube page under Rumblespoon Productions. It's a Malibu Comics interview, part 1 and part 2. They're both really, really good, guys. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. For those that are nostalgic Malibu comic fans, you'll love it. They really don't pull any punches.
Nope, they sure don't.
Sean Penn is married to Vincent D'Onofrio's daughter. That means Vincent is Sean Penn's stepdad.
Wow.
Wow.
That's disturbing.
And I'm my own grandpa.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Guardians wins. Men in Black is eliminated. Next round.
All right, this is the first. This is the end of the first round here of our entire thing. After this, of course, folks, this will move much, much quicker. So get that typing ready to vote. Kevin, you are going to take the heavyweight. We actually saved this one for last, in the words of Vanessa Williams. Kevin, I need you to go against top drawer sequels that one from Marvel, one from DC, maybe the best sequels of the entire property here. We have The Dark Knight versus Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier.
Forgive me again, these images are way too large, so I have to go and find smaller ones.
No doubt. There's no doubt it's a heavyweight matchup if there ever was one. You have 2 villains that are more or less unpredictable, between the bad guy, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, against the Joker. And you have a situation where the stakes are high in both of these movies. So let's start with The Dark Knight. Obviously, everyone knows the deal. Heath Ledger gave an amazing performance as the Joker. Aaron Eckhart played a great Two-Face, or later, well, really more Harvey Dent than Two-Face. Barely got to see him as Two-Face, but great character there. You know, the twist of the movie, in one sense, was that Joker was just working on turning Harvey, into a villain, essentially. And that's also one of the most powerful parts of the movie, of just basically the breakdown of Harvey Dent as a man. So great there. Joker, everyone knows about that. Captain America, Winter Soldier, like I said before, Bucky, the best friend of Steve Rogers, when he finds out that this guy who he thought was dead has actually been around for a long time and is working on behalf of the government and is controlled by Hydra. and he makes some difficult choices. You know, he doesn't want to kill him, but he actually almost gets himself killed trying to save him from himself. So great character pieces in both movies, great action, great story, great plot. Robert Redford, also awesome to have him in this type of thriller. Take your pick. I mean, either way, you can't go wrong. These are two of the greatest comic book movies of all time.
Sammy says, "I hate you guys. This is hard." Well, that's why we did it, Sammy.
Sammy. But we had to do it. We had to do it. We had to do it.
We would like to shower ourselves in it.
we thrive off of it. We want to see your tears so we can taste them later.
Yeah.
Great movies. Supporting characters in both movies are awesome. I mean, amazing.
Yep. So we've got Dark Knight versus Cap 2. Captain America 2, guys, don't rest on this one. This is by far the best Marvel Universe film.
That's right. We ranked it as the number one.
Yeah, this has the best story. This has the best characterization. This has the best action. The best everything that you could imagine in a Marvel film. This is the best of the best. This one sets the bar high for any other Marvel film that'll be coming out prior and up till and even in the future. With The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight's a great film. Don't get me wrong. It is a great film. But think about rewatchability also. I know Pete's in the chat saying he watched The Dark Knight 13 times in the theater. Me, I could only watch it once. I saw Cap 2 a couple times in the theater, and I've seen it a couple times since. Dark Knight, I haven't seen it all since it came out.
Really?
Wow. It's just heavy. Some people like that heavy stuff. That's their bread and butter. That's their type of film. No, nothing wrong with that at all. Me, I like a little more fun, a little lighter in my rewatchability. So Cap 2 just... it has enough heaviness, but it has enough light fun to it that it just fits perfect for me. So that's why I rewatched that more.
One thing that kind of supports your argument, Donald, a little bit, if you took Joker out of that movie, The Dark Knight, it wouldn't be as good. He's such an integral piece to that movie. It just would not be as good if you didn't have Joker there or didn't have Heath Ledger's Joker.
You know, Kevin, I've been actually making an argument here for quite some time in many ways that I really enjoy Two-Face more than the Joker, only because of his character arc. I know as an actor what that would take for him to create that. You really had to see a gradual change.
Yes.
Joker was very good, but he was also just various levels of crazy. Which, I don't want to disrespect that. He did a great job. It's obviously a very memorable, a very sad ending to the life of Heath Ledger and a career. But I love Two-Face in this movie. I think you do need the Joker, of course, to push this over the top in many respects. But I just don't think we should sleep on him too much. And how Nolan is so good at casting characters. Eric Roberts, who I hadn't seen in years, playing Falcone. Just little stuff like that is just why this. But if we wanted a real good,
also Spawn's in the movie too.
He is Michael J. White. But if we also wanted a really good debate between the real shortbox people, I know you hated the Scarecrow, Donald, but Batman Begins is also an excellent film.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start.
Eckhart is underrated. No doubt.
Time
This was underrated.
On the shot clock here, a minute on that. Guys, cast your votes now. We're going to start counting them up. Chris, I'm going to have you do Cap 2. Darren, have you do The Dark Knight, okay?
Okay. Also, two great film scores here.
Oh, absolutely.
Alan Silvestri versus Hans Zimmer.
Sean says The Dark Knight. Pete says The Dark Knight. Katie says Captain America. Stephanie says Cap 2. Harley says Dark Knight. No surprise there, Harley.
I have three here also for Dark Knight.
Ray says Dark Knight. Let's see. Andrew says Dark Knight. Evan says Dark Knight. Enrique says Cap 2. Dad says Dark Knight. Let's see. Raphael says, hey, I'm here late, but before Donald. LOL. Thanks, Raphael. Appreciate that.
Hey-o.
David says Dark Knight because, let's face it, this is Nolan, not DC. Mom says Captain America 2. Denenberg says, Brady says Cap 2. So Cap 2. Janet says Cap 2. Chicago Rob says Dark Knight. Sean says, no way, it's the best Marvel movie. Sean, you're drunk, I think. Austin says Dark Knight. Chris Duque says Cap 2. Frank says Cap 2.
Sean, make your case in the chat. Which one is better?
Well, Sean says it's the Dark Knight, of course. That's what he voted for. He's
Best
not
Marvel.
even. He says it's not even in the top 3. What is he talking about?
Whoa,
He's
whoa, whoa.
crazy.
I'm talking about Marvel films.
Yeah, but he's wrong, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know what you're smoking there, brother.
Jesus.
I don't know
Garrett says Cap 2. Raphael says Cap 2. Andrew says it's not even the best Captain America movie. Is he sitting with Sean drinking?
I mean, Civil War is awesome.
Civil War is awesome, so maybe he likes that one better.
Marilyn says Winter Soldier. Mike says Winter Soldier. And Andrew says Dark Knight by a mile. So where are we sitting on votes, guys?
I have 14 for the Dark Knight.
I got 12 for Captain America.
Yeah,
That's
tight.
pretty close. That's pretty
We've
close.
got epic matchup here, guys.
So we have
Let the Supreme Court decide this.
We have 2 more votes to tie for Cap in order to get up there. So we need people in the chats to vote for the either Cap 2 or the Dark Knight.
Sammy's asking, did you get our Winter Soldier vote in?
Let me check.
Yeah, this has become quite intriguing, I see.
Oh, I expected this.
I'm just curious.
No. So we'll count Sammy's Winter Soldier vote. So that's 13 to 14 now?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I'm kind of curious if it's not the best Marvel movie. What is the best Marvel movie, Sean? We're not here to mock or ridicule. I'm just curious what our audience is thinking.
Okay, David says he's flipping to Winter Soldier.
Oh, jeez. So we got a tie.
Yeah, so he changes his vote. So it's tied currently. Waiting on one vote. Maria had to leave the chat section, so I texted her to see what she's thinking.
Donald, it's not tied because if it's 14-13 Dark Knight and he flipped a vote, you have to subtract one from Dark Knight and add one to Cap. Cap's up by 1.
Oh, that's right.
Sure about that? Oh no. That's right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And Maria votes Winter Soldier.
Oh.
So Winter Soldier is now winning by 2 votes against the Dark Knight, guys.
Wow, what a flip.
Sean, for a not even top 3 movie to be beating the Dark Knight right now.
David, I see in
Just
the chat you want us to just go to the council. Let me address to you. The council sucks. We are useless.
Yeah, we're pretty terrible, David.
Wait. Supreme Court Council is pretty good.
We're a joke.
No, we're not, man.
We
No, we're
voted
not.
on Masters of the Universe versus Howard the Duck.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, what do you mean? What's wrong with that?
2 classic 80s movies. Nothing wrong with that.
It's true. 2 classics. Anybody else in the chats want to vote? Otherwise, Cap 2 is going to win.
Somebody save
10,
Nolan's
9, 8,
Somebody save it.
7, 6,
Oh boy.
5, 4,
All right, Chris Evans is going to get ahead of
1.
Christian Bale.
The Dark Knight has been eliminated. Cap 2 moves to the next round.
David, thank you for your flattery here, but it does not deserve the council. It deserves our loyal voting audience. All right, second round, guys. Are we ready?
Ready.
We're ready.
Get moving.
All right. Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Infinity War. We have already gone over this earlier. Kevin did. Is there anything you guys would like to add?
Marvel versus Marvel.
One.
We actually know what's funny about it. Ragnarok literally leads into Infinity War to the very first scene.
So you wouldn't have Infinity War if you didn't have Thor Ragnarok, and I think Thor set the tone for the films.
But Thor kind of had a pseudo happy ending in Ragnarok, and then it looks like all that happiness just led to misery in the first frame of Infinity War.
You mean Ragnarok? The destruction of the gods was a happy ending?
No, they're on their ship.
I fail to see that.
Ship.
Wait, Darren, you forget the very, very, very last scene. You saw the hovering of Thanos' ship above them, and all of a sudden their smiles went to frowns. They knew something was up.
Yeah, but that's if you watch like the end of the credits.
Yeah. True.
John says he had so much to say, but his godson spilled a soda everywhere on his desk. Well, it sounds like your godson knew the right time to do that. I'm just teasing you, Sean. You know that.
Hear me and rejoice. The beautiful words of Ebony Maw.
I've spilled my soda on my desk, on my keyboard at least 2 or 3 times. I can't, like, the keys stick and it's terrible. So it's fun.
Sean, to answer your question here, honestly, I'm open to either best MCU or best Marvel movie.
Okay, so here we go. Darren, let's have you do Avengers. Yep. Kevin, let's have you do Thor.
Right.
Like he would in real life. Oh, Kevin.
Oh, wow.
All right, so Andrew says Ragnarok.
Okay, who am I again?
You're Avengers.
Gotcha, sorry.
So we've got 1 for Thor, 2 for Thor, 3 for Thor. Let's see.
2 more for Thor from my parents.
Okay, another Thor from Katie. Enrique says Thor. Austin says Thor. Frank says Thor. Chris says Avengers. Wow. We're talking MCU, Sean. MCU film, not.
Although it's a great choice, Sean.
Sammy says Avengers. Let's see. Marilyn says Thor. Mike says Thor. Harley says Thor. Janet says Avengers. Andrew says Thor. Raphael says Avengers. Stephanie says Thor. Sean says Thor. Ray says Thor. Mom says Thor. David says Avengers. See, Dad says Thor. Evan says Thor. Where are we at? Thor's got to be crushing it.
Yeah, I have like 18 votes for.
I have 6 for Avengers. I think this is
over.
This is wild.
Avengers lost. Avengers Infinity War lost to Thor Ragnarok. I don't know that I agree with this one, but I'm not angry at it.
Plus, it could be the watchability.
Look. We have the smartest audience on the internet, but we can still disagree with them.
Right. Yep. All right, moving on. What do we got?
All right, here we go. We've got the... This is a hell of a matchup. We have The Incredibles versus Blade 2. Or, excuse me, Hellboy 2.
I was like, what? How did Blade 2 even make it in?
Yeah, the idiot who created the bracket. Oh, wait a second. Okay, once again, Incredibles directed by Brad Bird and Hellboy 2 directed by... The Golden Army directed by Guillermo del Toro.
So we've got Hellboy 2 versus The Incredibles. This is crazy. So everybody start working on your votes.
All right, Sean, I hear you. Top 3 MCU are Ragnarok, Civil War, or Black Panther. Okay, those are fair in my opinion.
Black Panther? No.
But you're right about Spider-Man 2.
Terrible third act, buddy. Come on. Get your big boy pants on and think about it. Come on. What's wrong with you? Civil War. Civil War's fun. Absolutely. Ragnarok's great. I think you go for... Seems like you go for rewatchability. I'm interested. You said your all-time favorite was Spider-Man 2, so that makes sense. I like that. And you like X2 as well. So I think we're aligned mostly, but still, that Black Panther one I can't get behind. Okay, so we're going to start counting the votes up, guys. Hellboy 2 versus Incredibles. Chris, why don't you do Incredibles? Kevin, you do Hellboy 2, okay?
All right.
So we have Raphael says Hellboy. Katie says Incredibles. Jarrett says Incredibles. Sean says Incredibles. Austin says Hellboy 2. Andrew says Hellboy. Stephanie says Incredibles. Frank says Incredibles. Mom says Heck Boy. Sammy says Incredibles. Ray says Incredibles. David says Incredibles. Enrique says Incredibles. Dad says Heck Boy. Chris says Heck Boy. So just for the direction. Janet says Hellboy. Marilyn says Incredibles. Harley says Incredibles. Pete says Hellboy. Where are we at on the votes, gentlemen?
I have 8 votes for Hellboy 2 so far.
I have 11 for The Incredibles.
Count that as 12 for The Incredibles. The Incredibles, a.k.a. the Fantastic Four film, that we never got is
Red
beating
uniforms.
The Incredibles 13-8, correct? Or beating Hellboy?
Yep.
Yeah, my parents abstained from voting on this round.
Okay, so Incredibles is winning 13-8 against Hellboy 2. Anybody else want to cast their votes before we call it?
Gonna call the election in about
It's a
5
steep hill to
seconds.
climb.
All right, I'm going to call it.
Call the
Hellboy
election.
2 loses, Incredibles moves on to the next round.
All right, here we go, folks. We've got another second round matchup: Wonder Woman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990.
Oh my god, yeah, this is a tough one. You've got updated like special effects versus puppetry, which I'm not saying anything is bad with puppetry. I love it. Animatronics, shit like that.
I'm not going to reveal which one, but for me, there's clearly an inferior movie here by comparison to the other. But we'll see. I'm not going to reveal what it is, but we shall see. We shall see.
We've got Wonder Woman versus the Ninja Turtles. Where in the world would you see this battle? Like, Chris, would you have thought you would see this battle today? Wonder Woman fighting the Ninja Turtles?
No, it makes me worried a little bit.
You know, it'd be a fun comic book to read, to be honest with you. It would be a fun comic to read. It would be fun. It would be fun to actually read a book like that.
It would. I mean, the Turtles crossed over with Batman, so why not?
Yeah.
April becomes an Amazon.
Look, I know it's tempting too, folks, but try to ignore the perhaps underwhelming sequels of these franchises if you can afford to.
So, we are going to put a minute on the shot clock here. Cast your vote. Wonder Woman versus the Ninja Turtles. Diana Prince versus Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael.
I guess Michelangelo stole the invisible jet for fun.
Keep in mind, Wonder Woman's sidekicks could be some dude in a plane, and the Ninja Turtle sidekick could be some dude in a hockey mask and a lady
Casey
reporter.
Jones.
Who would win? Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Yeah, I think entertainment value is a big thing here as far as how people should vote, because clearly we have, the supernatural versus the mortal. So maybe that's something that should be.
Darren, looks like Sammy's calling you out. She says Teenage Mutant Turtles 2 was good. She doesn't know what you're talking about.
Okay, now, Sammy, I had good memories, actually, of The Secret of the Ooze. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, actually took me and my brothers one afternoon to see The Secret of the Ooze. It is kind of a broken movie in a lot of ways, but I will say Toka and Razor are kind of humorous, and Super Shredder, who was played by Kevin Nash, a.k.a. WWF's Diesel, also was very memorable. And for those of you that like Vanilla Ice, I guess the Ninja Rap was cool, too.
Of course.
All right, we are out of time on the shot clock. We're going to start counting votes. Chris, I'm going to have you do Turtles. Darren, I'm going to have you do Wonder Woman, okay?
Oh, great.
Indubitably.
All right, so Pete says Turtles. Stephanie says Wonder Woman. Harley says Turtles. Enrique says Wonder Woman. Sean says Turtles. Janet says Wonder Woman. Frank says Wonder Woman. I never liked the Turtles. Frank.
Wow.
Austin says Turtles. Marilyn says Wonder Woman. Mike says Wonder Woman. Mom says Wonder Woman. Dad says Wonder Woman. Katie says Wonder Woman. Jarrett says Wonder Woman. I hate Turtles. There, I said it.
Wow.
That's alumni there.
Andrew says Wonder Woman. Sammy says... Did I already count that, Sammy? I don't know if that's a vote. Sammy, I don't know if you're voting for the Turtles or not. Ray says Wonder Woman. Raphael says Turtles. David says Turtles. Brady says Turtles. Evan says Turtles. Sammy says her dad met Vanilla Ice.
Van Winkle.
Chris says Turtles. Sammy says Turtles. So it sounds like Wonder Woman's kind of taking it so far. What do we got?
I have 12 for Wonder Woman.
Got 10 for Turtles.
Oh,
close.
Closer than I thought. So Turtles is down by 2. If we wanted to go to the Supreme Court Council here, we need 2 more votes for the Turtles.
And David, since you're a fan of the Supreme Court here, let's just maybe do something tantalizing for you who haven't voted yet. Corey Feldman was indeed the voice of Raphael.
Hey, Chris, did I say Maria says turtles?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so count that one.
It was 11.
Can I ask my AI and have vote count?
Okay, I have
no.
2 for Wonder Woman here.
2 more for Wonder Woman?
Yeah, that's 14-11, right?
Yeah.
Just got those in from my parents.
Yep, so we're 3 down for the turtles to move on. I so want the turtles to move on to this, but it just doesn't look like it's in the cards. Crap. Katie says, I kid you not, I had a family come through my line at Universal who had 3 boys. The first ticket read Leonardo, the second was Donatello, and the third was Michelangelo. Just missing Raphael. Katie, if you're talking about turtle popularity, I would say probably Raphael's at the bottom of the list. So maybe
Really?
yeah.
Hey, who wouldn't name their kids after the turtles?
David, I think turtle power is dying. I think we're done here. I think it's over.
Our podcast has gone to extraordinary lengths, though, to honor the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in many previous podcasts. The best indie comic of all time, right?
Raphael was pouting somewhere. Wonder Woman moves on next round.
Oh, my heart.
I know. That was tough to take.
You smell something fishy, Chris? Inaccurate. Okay, here we go. And we have the last matchup of the second round. Here we go. The Guardians of the Galaxy versus the Winter Soldier.
And I will vouch for Darren. His parents do vote. They are good people.
And it's midnight over there, and they are really staying up to support this pod.
Okay, what was it? Guardians versus what?
Guardians versus Winter Soldier.
Oh, man.
Good matchup.
Very good matchup. Guardians of the Galaxy versus Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier. What do we have? So we have Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a group of ragtag heroes. It has a lot of rewatchability. It's a fun film. And we have Cap 2, which again I will argue is the best of the MCU. It sets the bar very, very high. Guardians kind of skirts that bar a little bit because it's such a different film. You know, if you don't like things like Captain America 2, like espionage and, grassroots superheroes fighting each other and stuff, I don't know, maybe Guardians is your thing. So it's counter-programming, in other words, is what we're going for here. Guardians of the Galaxy versus Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier. I am going to say one thing, though. Only one of these has Batroc the Leaper and also Crossbones. So...
My mother says, thank you, Donald. And she also had her and my father cast their votes. It's interesting, too, is like what I really like about Kevin Feige as a creative over at Marvel is he does take certain Marvel films and separates them into certain genres. And Guardians of the Galaxy would be the equivalent of their Star Wars in many ways. So for that alone, to take a Marvel comic and make it that kind of an equivalent, I just think is really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, both of these movies took the Marvel movies and kind of flipped them to, like, where they're at now with, of course, the big twist at the end of Winter Soldier, like, kind of pushing everything forward there. And then Guardians of the Galaxy taking Marvel to space. So I think for that, these are both pretty, like, heavy weights and kind of pushing Marvel forward to what we have now.
Let's see. Darren will have you do Guardians. Kevin will have you do Cap 2, okay?
Kevin, 2 for my parents, please. For Cap.
Okay.
When we're ready? We ready?
Yeah.
Maria says Cap 2. Katie says Guardians. Mom says Guardians. Sammy says Cap 2. Sean says Guardians. Austin says Guardians. Jarrett says Guardians. Dad says Guardians. Andrew says Guardians. Stephanie says Guardians. Chris says Cap 2. Evan says Guardians. Janet says Cap 2. Harley says Guardians. Marilyn says Guardians. Mike says Cap 2. David says Guardians. Enrique says Cap 2. Brady's going Cap 2. Andrew, yes, you must have forgotten about Batroc. Raphael says Guardians. Ray says Guardians. Pete says Cap 2. And Jarrett says Madeline has a joke. If a security guard works at a Samsung store, are they the Guardians of the Galaxies? I think they are. Frank, you might not have to pick. It sounds like Guardians is running away with it. What do we got vote-wise?
Cap 2 is not too bad. It has 10 votes.
I have 14.
Okay, so we're up 4. So if you want Cap 2, guys, to stay in this, remember, the winner of this whole thing has to take on Batman 1989. So think about that, too.
Do not make the same mistake as y'all did last week by eliminating Spider-Man 2. It is something I have yet to recover from.
I know.
You and Sean.
Talking about it all week. All week he's been talking about it.
Very true.
Very depressed.
And we're a little sore about X-Men too now too.
Yeah, that's true. We are.
Well, maybe we should have put it up against something easier.
Sean, if you're going to try to argue that the Guardians of the Galaxy is a better film than Captain America 2, you must be just completely wasted at this point. Frank says Cap 2.
Who says Cap 2?
Yeah. So what's the score?
That's 11 now. I got an extra vote for Cap 2.
Sean, I apologize for my co-host. We should not be insulting the audience. Wasn't he the director of photography for one of your shorts, Donald?
No.
Oh, Andrew, Sean? Thank you so much, Andrew. I'm still not over Dark City as well.
Yeah, he was. Darren, he was.
Oh, Andrew, that's thank you for pointing that out, Andrew. You know, Dark City was one of the first 2 movies I ever bought on DVD.
And Matrix ripped it off in many respects.
Yes.
Matter of fact, they literally did. They used the same sets in Australia.
Hey, Sean, next time you're doing something like your book, Sean's actually writing a book, and he had an Indiegogo campaign that he was working on, and I didn't notice it until it was like the final hour, and I left it on my phone, and then when I went back to donate, it had actually lapsed, so it had ended, and I missed it. So next time you do something like that, Sean, let us know, and we can mention it while we're waiting on these votes to come in. Sent you the pic in Messenger. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sammy, very much. I guess we're going to put 30 seconds left, just because 30 seconds. Let's do this. Cap's down by 3 votes, so if anybody wants to keep Cap in the voting, you have to vote now. Otherwise, it's going to go Guardians, and they'll be the winner of this round.
Send Chris Evans to the semifinals.
And Guardians is a fun film. Evan says, to be fair, Guardians is much better when you are wasted. Evan, I can't argue that. I'm sure it's a fun film when you're drunk. I mean, it's fun when you're not, so.
I mean, Ragnarok probably, too, with all the colors, man. Cool. That should do it, right?
That's it. We're done.
Great. All right, semis. Here we go.
Guardians wins.
Thor Ragnarok against the Incredibles.
Haha! Wow. This kind of is a good matchup. I like this.
They're both kind of light and kind of funny.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok against the Incredibles. What can be said that we haven't said yet? Okay, so, guys, how did you overall feel about Incredibles 2?
Lackluster, my opinion.
Agreed. I feel the short film that came on before it was better.
Mm-hmm.
Bow.
I think part of it was we waited so long for the Incredibles that what we got wasn't up to the expectation of waiting, was it 15, 20 years, something like that?
I believe it's Sammy who's very disappointed in Captain America Winter Soldier losing. I mean, Sammy, I don't know what to tell you, but I smell maybe you have a crush on Sebastian Stan. Just going to guess. I'm just going to guess.
Or maybe Cap himself. That's America's ass, you know.
What about Crossbones? I mean, maybe maybe
Frank Grillo. I don't think anybody's like crushing over Frank Grillo, but Anna Barsh.
Robert Redford. Robert Redford, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, women in their 80s, probably.
You're not wrong, she says. Aha! There we go.
All right, so let's start counting some votes. I'm going to put a minute on the shot clock here. And cast your vote now. Thor 3 versus Incredibles. Andrew says my wife votes for Cap out of spite. That's funny. She's too little too late, Andrew. You can tell her. Put your finger in your face and go or like that. Stephanie says Thor. Chris, I'll have you do Thor. Darren, I'll have you do Incredibles, please.
Yeah.
So Stephanie says Thor. Maria says Thor. Sammy says Incredibles. Katie says Incredibles. Sean says Wow. Chris says Thor. Jarrett says Thor. Mom says Thor. Andrew says Thor. Sean says Incredibles. Dad says Thor. Austin says Thor. Marilyn says Thor. Mike says Thor. Ray says Incredibles. Janet says Incredibles. Frank says Incredibles. Oh, cool. Jarrett says the director of Bow's directing a Pixar feature now. That's great to hear. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, Katie. David says Thor. Brady says Thor. They're voting for that because of Korg. They love Korg. Raphael says Thor. Enrique says Incredibles. Harley says Thor. And Evan says Thor. We're going to just call this now. What do we got number-wise, guys?
I have 7.
I have 15.
Yeah. So Thor wins. Incredibles is losing. Thor 3. Thor Ragnarok moves on to the semifinals, Darren?
The finals.
Final. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Not yeah, of this.
Yeah, of this one.
One last matchup here, guys. Speeding through this. Wonder Woman versus Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh, that's weird. This is a weird matchup. If you guys are going to do Thor versus Guardians, that's the most unoriginal matchup I've ever heard. But, you know.
Wonder Woman versus Guardians, I mean, these are lighter movies in many ways. Obviously they don't take themselves too seriously, and one has a godlike element to it, the other...
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Boy, it would be cool if, like, Diana was, like, she's, like, basically a goddess, and Thor is a god. That'd be cool. I'm not trying to sway anything, I'm just saying I thought about it in my head, and I think that would be pretty cool, but whatever wins. I love all these movies, so it's cool.
Isn't Gal Gadot Quill part god, too?
What's that?
Isn't Star-Lord part god as well?
True. Within the MCU, that's true.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
But Gal Gadot versus Chris Hemsworth. Israeli versus Australian.
Yes, indeed, do. This Thor Ragnarok thing, it's nice because it's the last movie that I had a good memory of Thor before Fat Thor became a thing in Avengers Endgame.
Fat Thor was fun.
Hopefully he's not fat.
Like 5 minutes.
Well, based on the photos I've seen, he looks fit Thor again.
Oh, good for Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Good for Thor 4. Excellent.
Pretty sure. Yeah. Well, the God of Thunder can lose his weight very quickly.
Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy versus Wonder Woman. Minute on the shot clock. Let's start voting, people. Cast your votes. Kevin, we'll have you be Guardians. Chris, we'll have you be Wonder Woman, okay?
Chris, I have 2 out of the gate from my parents for Wonder Woman, just so you're aware.
Frank says Guardians. Ray says Guardians. Chris says Wonder Woman. Austin says Guardians. Sammy says Wonder Woman. Katie says Wonder Woman. Harley says Guardians. Janet says Guardians. Enrique says Guardians. Andrew says Wonder Woman. Then we have another vote for Wonder Woman. Mike says Wonder Woman. Marilyn says Guardians. Another vote for Guardians from Sean. Evan says Guardians. Andrew says, "Oh shit, we almost had a 4 Chris semifinals." Pete says Guardians. David says Guardians. Brady says Guardians. Stephanie says Wonder Woman. Raphael says Guardians. Jarrett says Guardians. Mom says Guardians, and Dad says Guardians. So it sounds like Guardians is winning so far. What's the score?
Yeah, I have 16 for Guardians.
10 for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's not going to catch up.
Yeah. So Guardians looks like it's winning, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
all
Wonder Woman's done. It's Guardians versus Thor Ragnarok, correct, Darren?
Yeah, you got it. And this is the finals. The winner of this, don't run after this matchup here, folks, because
Champion versus champion matchup.
they have to take on Batman 89 after this.
Two
So once
incredibly
again,
different films, no matter which
Yeah.
one wins here.
You're voting for Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy, folks. Two space adventures in many ways.
Well, at least it guarantees a Marvel versus DC champion versus champion matchup. So you know what? This is actually a good thing.
So, Donald, are you slightly disappointed that Guardians would go ahead and tease that Howard the Duck cameo and has yet to introduce Howard the Duck?
Slightly annoyed with that fact, yes. I would love to see Howard the Duck be used more in Guardians.
Maybe he'll be in Thor 4 Love and Thunder. You never know.
Well, he was in Endgame
Ah, true. Very
for 2
true.
seconds.
Very true.
And they were supposed to be doing an animated show with Howard. I think it was Kevin Smith or somebody was supposed to do it, and then it got canceled or something.
Okay, we're going to start tallying some votes. I'm putting a minute on the shot clock here. If it looks like a bloodbath, we'll call it. First off, Darren, we're going to have you do Thor, please, and Kevin
And
will
I'm
have
entering
you...
with 2 votes on Thor from parents.
Okay, yeah, Kevin will have you do Guardians.
Okay.
Stephanie says Thor. Pete says Thor. Sammy says Guardians. Ray says Thor. Katie says Guardians. Austin says Guardians. Mom says Guardians. Jarrett says Guardians. Janet says Guardians. Dad says Thor. Enrique says Guardians. Frank says Thor. Andrew says Thor. Then we have another vote for Thor. David says, I'm happy with this final, going with Guardians. Guardians for either... Okay, so Guardians gets a vote, and then Thor gets another vote. And then Brady's saying Thor, and Chris is saying Thor, and Maria is saying Thor as well. Raphael is saying Guardians. Where are we with the votes, gentlemen?
I have 10 votes for Guardians so far.
I have 13 for Thor.
Okay, so Thor is winning by 3 votes, everybody. If you want Guardians to tie or win, it needs at least 3 more votes. Harley says Guardians, so it needs at least 2 more votes.
There's definitely enough people in the chat section to keep this going, so I don't know why they're not voting.
Maybe we're just undervaluing Thor Ragnarok here. Maybe it's better than we originally anticipated.
Perhaps
it's a very fun film. They're both very fun films, but if I had to say one or the other, which would I go with ultimately? I think Thor Ragnarok is a really fun. It's the best of the Thors. Thor is a great character. I would go with Thor Ragnarok hands down. I think it's a lot of fun, very enjoyable. So we've got very little time left. We're going to go 30 seconds on the shot clock here. I'm just going to go from a minute to 30 seconds and then call it after that. Thor is winning by 2 votes. We have about 20 seconds left for anybody to vote for Guardians or Thor. If Thor gets another vote, it's instantly going to win. If Guardians gets more votes, then we'll keep it going. And Thor Ragnarok. This is Thor 3 versus Guardians 1, of course. Guardians 2... give or take, you know. It had its moments. It was fun. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought it was a very enjoyable film.
Did we get a couple extra votes here for Guardians?
We got 1 more Guardians from Walter.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Walter. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Walter.
And 1 more vote for Guardians to go. If we go to the Supreme Council, then if Guardians gets 1 more vote. If it gets 2 more, it wins. If Thor gets another vote, it wins. If it stays where it's at, Thor wins. Either way. So we are at
Getting my rope
a full
ready.
minute.
Getting my
So
rope ready.
Thor is going to take it. Guardians is out.
All right, that's a shocking win in this bracket for me. Okay, guys, here you go. One last matchup. The champion of last week, Batman 1989, against Thor Ragnarok for the Real Short Box's greatest comic book film.
Okay,
You decide, folks. You decide.
Marvel versus DC.
We've got Batman versus Thor Ragnarok. Batman 1989 versus Thor Ragnarok for the ultimate showdown. This is last week's winner, Batman 1989, versus this week's winner, Thor Ragnarok. This is for all the marbles. This is for everything. Chris can barely contain himself. Look at him over there. He's got all this nervous energy. He's about to lose it.
And just to make sure we're very clear here, Sean, yes, Spider-Man 2 should have been going against The Dark Knight. But look, we don't control the vote in any way, shape, or form. This is just by chance. This is how the people vote. We respect the way the people vote. We're happy that you're participating with us and staying up this late with us, especially on the East Coast.
Yeah, we're happy to have all of our East Coast friends and our West Coast friends and our Midwest friends and our Southern friends and our Northern friends and those from Canada. Thank you for joining, even though I don't think there's anybody from Canada. There is somebody from China, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a voter from China in here, and if a voter from China can get in here, anybody can get in here. It's crazy.
I'm gonna say I'm super excited to find out how this goes. I'm waiting with anticipation.
I have a funny feeling where I think it's going to go. I think people, just like last time, have a thing for nostalgia, and that's where I think is where it's going to go.
Okay. Well, we're going to start counting the votes. I'm going to put a minute on the shot clock, and we're going to get ready. Chris, if I can have you take Thor Ragnarok, and Kevin, if we can have you do Batman 89.
All
Guys,
right.
if you can each put up one vote, as my parents have split.
Okay.
Okay.
On the vote.
I like that, Darren. Sammy says Batman. Ray says Thor. Mom says Thor. Andrew says Thor. Dad says Thor. Stephanie says Thor. David says Thor. Frank says Batman. We got another vote for Thor. Pete says Batman. Maria says Thor. Brady says Thor. Katie says Batman. Harley says Batman. Marilyn says Thor. Mike says Batman. Enrique says Thor. Austin says Batman. Janet says Batman.
Nick Popio says Batman. Donald is a certified jackass. Thank you and good night.
All right. Thanks for that. Thank you very much, Nick. Thor for Raphael. Thor for Sean, who in parentheses says Spider-Man 2. You smart ass. Jarrett says Batman. Chris says Thor. Sorry, Sammy. Marilyn says we're 40 minutes from Windsor, Canada. Does that count? Yes, it does, Marilyn. It does count. Thank you. And Walter says Batman. So where are we at with these votes? It sounds like Thor's winning slightly.
I have 12 for Batman 89.
I have 15 for Thor.
So Thor's winning by 3, people. Thor is winning by 3. If Batman gets 3 more votes, it's a tie, and it goes to the Supreme Council here.
I get to put the robes on again.
People, you can right this wrong right this moment.
I guess I was wrong about my nostalgia.
These may not have been your first choices, audience. They may not have been. But come on, bruh. Prince has Batman.
I think we might have the nail in the coffin. Evan saying Thor.
Oh, no.
Oh,
wait.
We got one more for Batman.
2 more for Batman.
Where are we at now?
14 for the great Batman of 89.
And how many for
16.
Thor?
16.
16 for Thor. It's still up by 2.
Now I know how the Joker feels when he says Bob Gunn.
Still up by 2. Batman is losing 14-16 against Thor Ragnarok.
Jack, you're my number one guy.
Chris, are you trolling me on this podcast? Come on, bruh.
Sammy says, can't you guys just vote anyways? Come on, Donald.
The Supreme Court. Well, look, Sammy, I don't mind putting on the robes again if it comes down to
Sammy, we can't. We have to have a tie. We can't just throw our votes in. We are, we're Switzerland, I guess.
Omnipotent. Look, Sammy, I mean, so many aspects of our lives have thumbs on the scale. We don't want to add more thumbs to the scale in this voting process.
Yep.
That's all.
We're going to go 1 minute on the shot clock left. That's it. This is going to be the final.
So exciting.
Chris Hemsworth versus Michael Keaton.
Sean says if he changes his vote, does that make them tie?
It does.
It does, yes.
Man,
Sean, if you're changing your vote, you need to let me know while that shot clock's still going. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
My robe is warming up. If you want to do it, my robe is warming up.
There's 30 seconds left.
Jeff Goldblum
Ropes are warming up.
Jack Nicholson.
Chris Turner's looking for his wig. You know, the old school 18th century wig to put on.
I don't think he's changing it. I think it's going to stay Thor.
Wait, who's Barb picks Batman? Who's that?
Oh, we've got another Batman. We've got 2 more Batmans added, and Sean changed his vote to Batman. That's 4 more Batmans.
So it's tied, right?
No, 4 more Batmans and -1 Thor. Batman's winning now.
oh my gosh.
What's the score now, completely?
So wait, if I did this right, it should be 16 for Batman.
How many Batman did you have before I said that, Kevin?
I had 14.
So 15, 16, 17.
17, okay.
17 Batman and -1 Thor would be what?
15.
Well, Sean wants to change back.
What? Come on, man.
Why do you want us to vote, people? We are a useless entity. Why?
Chris, if you legitimately have your mother and your brother there, you may ask them. Yes, we will do that. That is fine. But please, we always ask, and I know you are, Chris. I'm just saying for the audience, please be honest with us.
Right.
Otherwise, we will go back to you have to be here to vote.
We're causing voting chaos this evening at the Real Short Box.
Look, we don't want a 2020 type controversy where people are claiming, voter discrepancies.
Fraud. Yeah.
We don't talk about politics.
Okay, so Chris is swearing. Chris is swearing he does. So Chris, go ahead and get their votes. And what's the score still right now?
17.
15.
17-15, Batman to Thor. And Sean, I don't know if we can have you change your vote back again. I mean, I guess we could, but let's wait and see what Chris is doing. Because I know then you'd just change it again. So we'll wait.
Let's try to keep it nice in the chats, folks.
Okay, Chris. Chris, what are you doing?
I know there's legitimate concerns.
Chris says, dang it, 2 more for Batman, so that's it.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's it.
Well, so I was right then all along. I suspected this was going to happen.
So we have the winner.
I mean, that's what I would have voted for anyway if it came to me, so.
I would have flipped a coin there.
We have the ultimate winner.
So that was pretty intense.
So over these we've had now 2 podcasts in a row over this. I was just curious each of your guys' thoughts. Do you think we have a suitable all-time comic book winner here?
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Marilyn says Batman drives a Batmobile and Thor drives the Fjord. Nice. Okay, David's counting. He's screaming shenanigans. David,
always screams shenanigans.
He always does. He's a shenanigan guy. Go to our, we have a personal group that are friends of the Real Short Box. If you'd like to be invited, let us know. Reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Let us know you'd like to have a personal Facebook invite to the fans of the Real Short Box. It's where we take to the polls and bitch at each other and complain and throw things and stuff and then post funny stuff. So feel free, if you want to be a part of that, let us know. Otherwise, next week, guys, we've got an incredible podcast coming up. We all know the Snyder Cut is coming. But what exactly is the Snyder Cut? It's 4 hours, guys. It's 4 hours now, the Snyder Cut, and we want to talk about it. So next week, we will be talking about Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut of the Justice League. We will talk in detail about what we expect to see, what we expect the story to look like, and Zack Snyder, genius, madman, or daffy bastard. We'll decide next week, next Monday, live on the Real Short Box Live podcast here on YouTube Live. Please, please, please take the time to join us. We've got some great programming coming up in the near future. We've got some more voting that'll be coming up as well. We've got some really fun stuff. We're working on some giveaways that we'll start doing here in the near future as well. So that's going to be a fun time for you guys. So keep tuned for that. Tell your friends and family. That'll be really cool. Thank you again, Chris Turner, for being here, for being a guest for us on the Real Short Box Live. And thank you to our audience members for being such an active, fun audience for us and having a good time and dishing it out and taking it as well. We really appreciate that we can jab you and you can jab us back. That's always a fun thing. We don't want anybody walking away with a sore sense of humor or, just being, well, I could have said Thor sense of humor, I suppose. But we do appreciate it. Gentlemen, anything that you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yes, this was quite the last 2 weeks was quite interesting. It was awesome. I think people definitely enjoyed themselves, and the result in some ways was surprising, but not so surprising. Batman 1989 is a classic film. It will stand the test of time, so we cannot argue with this ultimate champion.
Back to business next week.
Yep. Good night to my sister. Love you. Have a good night. I know it's late there. Chris says he would have gone for Ninja Turtles all the way. Chris, I'm not going to argue with that. I don't think the other Chris would argue with you either.
I'm there 100%. My heart still hurts.
Yeah. Janet says it's not just nostalgia. It's freaking amazing with the Tim Burton vibe and the actors and all of it. Andrew says, I'm not mad at the champion, but I would never have guessed this. Chris says, are they releasing it all at once? A Snyder Cut? I believe so, Chris. I haven't heard otherwise.
It was originally a TV show. They were going to do it as a miniseries, but then they decided to put it back to one movie, so it will be 4-hour version of it.
Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad. Love you guys. Pete says, great job, guys.
Appreciate it.
Pete says, entertaining as always. Thanks, y'all, from Sean. Sorry, not sorry for the chaos. It's fine, Sean. It was fun. Let's see. Love you too, Mom. Good night. Give the episode a thumbs up, says Janet. Thank you. Have a good night, says Enrique. See you next week. We will, and see you next week, Enrique. Thank you. Katie says, great job. All have a good night. And Sammy says, good night. Thank you guys for joining us. Good night. We love you all. We will see you next week here at the Real Short Box. And by chance, if we don't see you here next week, perhaps we will see you
at the wondrous, valuable, precious, sweet, homely comic book shop.
Hiya!
Good night, everybody.
Please subscribe.